Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the third part of your May Turning Point Weekend Series titled May Mothers. And then this week, we're going to be learning about, in your episode 992 for your Turning Point series, we're going to be learning about the devotion of Hannah. The first week, we learned about Sarah, the patience of Sarah. And last week we learned about the courage of Abigail. And then this week we're learning about the devotion of Hannah. Our beginning passage will be 1 Samuel 1:27 and 28 from the NIV. Which I've got it ready to go in my passage. So, and then our recommended reading will be Ecclesiastes 5, 6, 4 through 7. Our turning point is going to be from John Benton, Benton. And our scripture is finishing up 2nd Chronicles, chapters 32 through 36. So, hang on just a second. Sorry about that, but I don't even know what part I was on when I just did that little pause. I don't remember. But anyway, let's just get on. Let's just get this one over with. I'm ready to get into talking about Hannah. So, the devotion of Hannah, 1 Samuel 1:27 and 28 from the NIV says, Hannah said, I prayed for this child, and the Lord had granted me what I asked of him. So now I give him to the Lord. Ooh, excuse me, sorry about that. And then the the King James version says, "For this child I prayed, and the Lord hath given me my petition which I asked of him. Therefore also have I lent him to the Lord. As long as he liveth, he shall be lent to the Lord." And he worshiped the Lord there. So, so a woman in Israel had been childless for years, but had faithfully prayed for a son. She even made a vow to God that if he gave her a son, she would be dedicated to him to God's service. 1 Samuel 1:11. After years of worship and prayer, Hannah conceived and bore a son. After the boy was weaned, she took him to Eli the priest and fulfilled her vow. She gave her longed for son to the Lord. The boy, named Samuel, grew in stature and in favor both with the Lord and men. 1 Samuel 2:26. And ultimately became God's chief prophet in Israel. 1 Samuel 3:19-21. All because a mother was devoted to the Lord and kept her promise to him. Years later, King Solomon would write, When you make a vow to God, do not delay to pay for it. Better not to vow than to vow and not pay. Ecclesiastes 4 and 5, which is in recommended reading. We'll read those verses plus verses 6 and 7, which says, When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools pay that which thou hast vowed. Better it is that thou shouldest not vow, than thou shouldest vow and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands? For in the multitude of dreams and many words there are also diverse vanities, but fear thy God. Hmm. So being devoted to God is not without sacrifice, but with such sacrifice comes blessing. So the devotion that she vowed paid off. So our turning point from John Benton says, which will be down below along with our scripture verses, 2 Chronicles 32 to 36. John says, sacrifice is the giving up of something we genuinely value in order to express our devotion to God. That's a good one. I like that one. So coming up tomorrow in your fantastic Monday, May the 18th, episode 1590, part 1. We're going to do another Duh series video in our Days of Praise passage, number 275, and we'll be learning about the message of the Old Testament from Isaiah 45:22 from John D. Morris. And that'll be at 7 tomorrow. And then at 1 o'clock, part 2 of 1590, our daily bread passage, Anatomy of a Hardening Heart, from Adam R. Halls, or Halls, however it's pronounced, derived from Hebrews 3, 7 through 13. 7 and 8 is the key passage. And then our Bible reading tomorrow is 1 Chronicles 4 through 6, and then the first part of John chapter 6, 1 through 21. And that'll be us, like I said, at 1. And then tomorrow night at 7, our Fantastic Monday Turning Point, episode 993. We're going to be learning about good question, God's answer. Psalm 73:12 is our beginning passage, but we'll be reading that in the recommended reading. Psalm 73, 1 through 28. Ooh. Our turning points from A.W. Pink. And then we're starting on the book of Ezra, chapters 1 through 4 in our scripture verses, in our scripture. So stay tuned for that. I'll get to those in just a few minutes. But you'll see those tomorrow at 7, 1, and 7. So with that said, I love you, appreciate you. God wakes you up tomorrow, give him all the glory. Hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your weekend and has an awesome, awesome week ahead. I love you, appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Keep on keeping on and trusting God, and he'll keep you safe in all you say and do, and he'll see you through it. God bless everyone. God bless America in 2026 and beyond. And until tomorrow, peace out, everybody. So long. Have a great rest of your glorious Lord's Day Sunday evening, and come back tomorrow for the start of a fresh new week. And we'll see what we have in store tomorrow in those 3 great videos tomorrow. So I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your evening and comes back tomorrow for another fantastic Monday and see what we have in store for those 3 videos tomorrow. So have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.